Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Jay Reason coming back again with another stream. We are on day 13 of 31 days of football, along with everything else. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys smash that like, that thumbs up, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications by clicking that bell. That way you don't miss a stream for NFL, NBA, news, live content, and more. All right, shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to the family. Big Ron in the house. Shout out to you, Sheila. Early Wrench Gang in the house. Shout out to all you guys as we prepare to get started here. Got a few topics to cover. Some big stories, and obviously we got some small stuff to talk about. But hey, interesting topics to say the least. Mr. LeBron James not ready to retire. Quinnen Williams gets big bucks. And then, of course, the Miami Dolphins 2003-2024 season predictions. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have some fun with it. And we're going to address some other stuff. We're going to wait just a little while for you guys to trickle on in as we prepare to get started with the stream here. My poll up. All right, so question of the day. Will LeBron make it to the chip next year? It's going to be our question of the day. All right, so let's get into it. Mr. Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle for the New York Jets. He had an exceptional year last year, balled out for those Jets. Making some big bucks, has secured the bag. Let's go ahead and get into the story. Roll the clip.
What do you make of the numbers on this deal for Quinnen Williams?
No-brainer. To me, this was something that had to get done. Quinnen Williams is a dominant player. He has flashed since coming into the NFL, obviously very high draft pick, but really emerged and came into his own last year. So disruptive, rushing the passer from the inside, super stout against the run, the kind of defensive lineman that offenses have to game plan against, frankly. And really, I think you have to look at this in the context of the Jets.
And you know what? He did exceptionally well against the run. He was definitely at the top of the league for sacks, which is what you basically want from your defensive tackle. And listen, as much as we thought that the Jets would be a threat, it was more so the defense than the offense. But we'll keep it going.
Defensive line. They were extremely good getting after the quarterback with 4. Very good at stopping the run with light boxes, but they don't really have stars at edge rusher. Carl Lawson is good. Jermaine Johnson is a young edge rusher they're excited about. You got situational guys like Bryce Huff, but make no bones about it. The star of this defensive front is Quinnen Williams.
Definitely. Without a doubt. Looking forward to see Quinnen next year. They're going to have a lot going on. Obviously, you guys know about Aaron Rodgers and the changes on, the offense, which I consider the Jets to basically be the New York Packers, right? Because there's so many ex-Packers on the Jets now, you might as well just call them the New York Packers. But the defense is not to be slept on as well. So, getting into the story, Mr. Quinnen Williams. The New York Jets have locked up all-pro defensive tackle Quinnen Williams with a 4-year, $96 million contract extension that includes $66 million guaranteed. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Thursday. It is the largest guarantee in franchise history, which is important to note because the New York Jets really don't do this. They really don't keep their star players for long. So, very interesting. So, it's the largest guarantee in franchise history, surpasses linebacker C.J. Mosley's $51 million as a free agent in 2019. Williams, 25, who had 1 year remaining on his rookie contract, is now signed through the 2027 season. The Jets announced Williams' extension on Thursday, but did not disclose terms of the deal. The extension makes Williams the NFL's second highest paid defensive tackle based on average annual value at $24 million per season. He surpasses the Tennessee Titans' Jeffrey Simmons for $23.5 million for the number 2 spot behind Aaron Donald, $31.7 million. $66 million guaranteed pass surpasses Donald's $65. However, for the most guaranteed money in a defensive tackle's contract, according to the roster management system. Listen, this is a great thing. You know, if the money's there, if the money's on the table, go out there and get it. I feel like each year we're seeing different players basically get more and more and more money, more guarantees, bigger guarantees. And, if they're doing their job, if they're balling out, which Quinnen Williams is, he deserves every penny. And if your agent's able to leverage your career for that money and that contract, then so be it. Some people's going to have something to say. But right now, it looks like Mr. Aaron Rodgers and Quinnen Williams are getting paid the most over there with the Jets. Shout out to the Jets. Jets. All right. Next up. Shout out to my boxing fans. Any of the boxing fans in the house? Listen, I know that boxing's not what it used to be. All right? Boxing's definitely not what it used to be. I'm used to the Marvin Haglers. I'm used to the Mike Tysons. I'm used to Lennox Lewis, George Foreman, all those guys. But, hey, boxing still exists, right? These guys are still out there fighting their hearts out, training, winning titles, all that good stuff. Well, Mr. Devin Haney, the lightweight undisputed champion, was recently in the news as he is facing a concealed weapons charge after arrest in L.A. Now, we hear about this kind of stuff from time to time. Listen, it's not just the football players. It's not just the basketball players. It's not just golf. It's every sport. Something crazy happens. Well, let's get into the story. Boxer Devin Haney was arrested Thursday morning in Los Angeles and booked on a felony charge of carrying a concealed weapon in a vehicle, a Los Angeles Police Department information officer told ESPN. Haney was released on $35,000 bail, according to Los Angeles Sheriff's Department court records. The undisputed lightweight champion is scheduled to appear in court August 3rd in Los Angeles. In quote, "It's a misunderstanding that will be solved when Devin goes to court," Haney's father, trainer, and manager Bill Haney told ESPN. "It's unfortunate that he was arrested with his armed licensed security, and I'm confident things are going to be worked out." Haney, 30-0 with 15 knockouts, was traveling in the backseat of his vehicle when it was pulled over by police for a traffic stop, according to his father. The boxer who fights out of Las Vegas is coming off of his biggest win of his career, a May decision victory of Vasily Lomachenko. Haney, 24, is ESPN's top 135-pounder and number 9 pound-for-pound boxer. Listen, there's always lessons to these kind of stories, right? How do you have armed security and still get pulled over and then arrested for a firearm? That basically tells me that the paperwork wasn't right. It's that simple, right? You guys have all this money. Make sure the people that you're hiring has their paperwork right. There's no reason for you to get pulled over, the car gets searched, cop finds a gun, it's unregistered or something like that, and now it all comes down to you because somebody's paperwork wasn't right. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Shout out to Sheila, says the good old days. Yeah, definitely miss the good old days. That is for sure. All right. There's a story going on right now in regards to veteran quarterbacks who, I mean, they may be past their prime a little bit, not too much, but you know how this thing goes, right? The NFL's changing. And right now there are what we consider to be star running backs who have either been let go or they're free agents. Why won't teams pick them up? Well, it's a story that ESPN was actually that they actually released earlier today, and I was looking over it. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I thought that we could get into it. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Talks between the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley are really at a stalemate at this point. We know this deadline is creeping up in just a few days, Monday, 4 o'clock Eastern. And at this point right now, I was told that there's no movement on getting this long-term deal done. So what does this mean? Well, I was told by sources close to Saquon Barkley that the option is on the table for the running back to skip training camp and to even miss week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. These are things he's considering if he's not able to get this long-term deal done with the New York Giants.
So, I mean, look at it. We're hearing about this more and more. And I would have to say it's probably happened over the last 2-3 seasons maybe. And I would have to say this kind of puts into question going back to Lamar Jackson's contract, right? I really think the ability to leverage talent, career, and worth has really gotten to a point where if I see someone making way more money than I am, well, now I'm going to sit out and I'm going to wait it out until I get paid what I think I'm worth. And that's kind of where we're at. So getting into the story, something feels wrong about what's happening and for running backs in the NFL. As teams approach training camp later this month, 4 respected veteran rushers remain free agents, seemingly with little interest. Kareem Hunt, which was absolutely amazing at one point, wasn't re-signed by the Browns after his contract expired. Ezekiel Elliott, who obviously left the Cowboys. Leonard Fournette, gone from the Buccaneers. He was amazing with the Jags, but obviously we know what happened with the Jaguars. Dalvin Cook, who was just with the Vikings, right? He had a decent year. What happened? They were all released by their respective franchises to create salary cap space. None of the 4 has signed elsewhere. Popular veterans getting cut towards the tail end of their careers is nothing new, but at the age which the players have become free agents stands out. Cook, Elliott, and Hunt are 27 years old. Fournette is 28. 27-year-old stars at other positions are years from being cut candidates. No team would dream of moving on from Myles Garrett, Deebo Samuel, or Budda Baker. Now, I'll be honest with you. Myles Garrett is a different kind of animal. So is Deebo Samuel. Budda Baker as well. So when you kind of put those names into the drawing here of who you're mentioning, this is not an apples to apples comparison. This is an apples to oranges comparison. Running backs aren't valued the way that they used to be. And the reason why is because the quarterbacks now are more mobile. So guess what? If you have a mobile quarterback like Daniel Jones, you're going to try to basically finesse Saquon Barkley on his contract because Daniel Jones is going to pick up a lot of those running yards that Saquon normally would. Right? And obviously, if they don't want to pay you as much, they'll probably just pick up somebody else for less and make Daniel Jones a workhorse anyways. But I'm not going to go that far into it because I'm sure they'll work out a deal. But you get what I'm saying. Continuing on. Players are getting squeezed on both sides, with the first round of April's draft as an exception. Draft capital used on running backs continues to fall. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs became the first running back duo to be selected in the top half of round 1 since Fournette and Christian McCaffrey in 2017, a feat that happened far more often in the past. In 2022, no back came off the board in the top 32 picks, something that didn't happen even once over a near 50-year span between 64 and 2012. Teams are using less draft capital on backs than ever before, and they appear to be more aggressive in moving on from their lead backs once they sign extensions. It just goes back to what I said, right? We're now in the league of mobile quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Tua, Danny Dimes, Jordan Love. This is just what it is right now. And I expect it to get even worse. And so, you're going to have these issues where running backs aren't going to get paid what they want, and they're going to have to take a cut somewhere. It's really unfortunate. So, obviously with that story, it'll be really interesting to see how it pans out with, people like Kareem Hunt, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook. As far as it would be smart to pay attention to how they have their contracts restructured, if they even get picked up. That's the real question. There's so much talent out there. You got to take what you can get. Looking at you, DeAndre Hopkins. Moving on. Mr. LeBron James. Mr. LeBron James was at the ESPYs last night talking in regards to his future with the NBA. Let's go ahead and get into that clip.
I said I wasn't sure if I was going to keep playing. And I know a lot of experts told you guys what I said, but I'm here now speaking for myself. In that moment, I'm asking myself if I can still play without cheating the game. Can I give everything to the game still? Truth is, I've been asking myself this question at the end of the season for a couple years now. I just never openly talked about it. I don't care.
I really feel like I'm not going to discredit LeBron's legacy, his talent, or anything like that. But shout out to Bob throwing me off. Like I said, I'm not going to discredit LeBron's legacy, his talent. He's done some great things for basketball. But when is enough enough? How much money, how many accolades, how many trophies do you need to win before it's too much, right? But we'll keep it going.
Care how many more points I score or what I can or cannot do on the floor. The real question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done.
I'll be honest. I think last year he was done. I think he gave everything he had on the floor. But, hey, he's coming back another year. So let's get into the story. There's still time left on the clock for LeBron James' career. The Lakers star announced Wednesday night at the ESPYs in Los Angeles that he will continue playing. James openly pondered retirement after the Lakers' playoff sweep by the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. We streamed that here. If you didn't subscribe, make sure you subscribe. But he will become the sixth player in NBA history to play his 21st season or beyond, joining Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Robert Parrish, Kevin Willis, and Vince Carter, who has the record with 22. Shout out to Vince Carter. I don't care how many more points I have to score or what I can or cannot do on the floor, James said after accepting the ESPY Award for Best Record-Breaking Performance for passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. The real question for me is, can I play without cheating this game? What do you call flops? Wouldn't that be cheating the game? Is that why the NBA decided to add in some rules for flopping this year? I'll keep it going. The day I can't give everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today. James was then presented the award by his wife, Savannah, who was joined by their three children, 18-year-old Bronny, 16-year-old Bryce, and 8-year-old Zuri. Please welcome to the stage the GOAT, respectively, LeBron James. Savannah said, hey, if the GOAT is LeBron to you, Savannah, that's totally fine. I respect it, but this man is not my GOAT. We all know Michael Jordan, number 23, still remains the GOAT and holds that title. Now, obviously, there's talks and discussions as far as why LeBron still wants to play. One of the biggest discussions is the fact that his son may be potentially coming to the league, and he wants to play with his son, right? Honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen. I've seen Bronny play a little bit. I still think there's going to be a lot more development needed before he's actually NBA ready. There's a lot that goes into this, and just because LeBron James is your father does not mean that you belong in the NBA or that you can actually play and compete in the NBA. But hey, it's not to discredit his talent because he can develop into be something great. But right now, I just don't see it. Will we see it in the next year? Who knows? But I don't think LeBron's going to be playing with Bronny, even if he does make it to the NBA. Just being honest. Shout out to Derpy Entertainment. Says, shut up with the hate. Bron came to the Knicks. You would love it. Yo, I'm just trying to search for who you talking to. I didn't hate on him at all. I said he's not my GOAT. That's a fact. We understand what LeBron James has done for the NBA. And I actually just gave him some credit. So calm down, get your panties out of a bunch, go get some popcorn, and enjoy the rest of the stream, sir. No one's hating on LeBron. Everyone has their favorite. Obviously, he's a great player, but he's not my greatest of all time. So, Derpy continues on saying, Michael Jordan didn't make no school for kids. Oh, Immortal says LeBron once said 28 sliced fatty cheese. Shout out to you, Immortal. Now listen, do you really want to get into everything that Michael Jordan has done for kids versus LeBron James? Do we really need to get into that? We could say that for another video. I could break everything down that they both did, philanthropy-wise and all that kind of stuff. You know? But it leaves much to be desired when you see LeBron James step out on the court and, you know, he had Jordan as a logo on his attire. So I think that still confirms to me who the GOAT is. Just being honest. Continuing on. They're trying to get me going. Y'all gonna make me go on strike if y'all keep acting up. Just kidding. But these people are not. Obviously, the writers in Hollywood have been on strike for a while now if you've been living under a rock. But also, the actors are now getting in on the action. Right? You get where I'm going with this. Hollywood actors are basically following suit along with the writers and joining the strike. Now, what this does for Hollywood? Well, let's get into the video.
We are experiencing that right at this moment. This is a very seminal hour for us. I went in earnest, thinking that we would be able to avert a strike. The gravity of this move is not lost on me or our negotiating committee or our board members who have voted unanimously to proceed with a strike. It's a very serious thing that impacts thousands, if not millions of people.
Listen, she's not lying. Not at all. And the reason why is this. You obviously have the executives, the studios, the producers. All those guys can wait it out, right? They've got the millions and billions of dollars to do it. It's the writers who need the money. But now you've got the actors getting into the play. So guess what? Yeah, you can probably go hire, writers in different countries. You may be able to find a few here or there that are willing to go ahead and take, a pay cut. But what you can't basically find is great talent that you're not going to have to pay for. So when you've got the writers on strike and when you've got the actors on strike, now you're getting into something that's going to make these guys actually start getting things in gear to negotiate. So getting into the story. All right, thousands of Hollywood actors are heading to the picket lines after their labor union and a trade group representing the industry's leading studios failed to reach a deal on a new contract, grinding film and television production to a halt. The National Board of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or SAG-AFTRA, voted unanimously Thursday morning to go on strike. The Guild announced at an afternoon news conference. The picket lines will start to form Friday, making the first time film and television performers have staged a work stoppage since 1980. Since 1980. When former SAG president Ronald Reagan was campaigning for the White House, and the top-rated series on U.S. television was Dallas. Some of you probably don't even remember that. So listen, it's going to be really interesting for Hollywood over the next few weeks. We'll see if this actually helps them get a deal made, and whether or not it's going to speed up the process as far as getting the writers back in order to get them paid what they think they deserve, and getting the actors as well. Continuing on. What's happening to us is happening across all fields of labor when employers make Wall Street and greed their priority, and they forget about the essential contributors that make the machine run, said SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher, who is best known for her starring role in the sitcom The Nanny. The previous contract expired at 11:59 p.m. Wednesday. The Guild's members, rattled by the economics of the streaming era and the rise of unregulated digital technologies, seek higher base compensation and safeguards around the use of artificial intelligence, among other demands. Hollywood's writers are already striking over similar issues. And I'm just going to stop it there for a minute. I had a really interesting conversation the other day. Someone told me that I should stick with sports because I was talking about AI. Well, here I am talking about AI again because of what it has caused in this specific industry. So guess what? Obviously, if I'm talking about something, I'm paying attention to it for a reason. Because here we are talking about artificial intelligence again and how it's affecting another industry. But maybe I should just stick to sports and just be a mindless robot. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I will. Maybe one day there'll be artificial intelligence on Jay, and then it'll just be a robot streaming sports for you guys. It won't be me anymore. Who knows? Maybe it's already going on. You guys know all those bot channels that put up videos during the college football season, and I can't even stream college football because it's pointless because I don't get any views? Would that be AI? Maybe. Maybe it affects me. Maybe it doesn't. But hey, we see what's going on here with Hollywood. That's why I said it's better to learn what's going on instead of being fearful about it. But I digress. Y'all gonna make the hoodie come on today. The hoodie is not coming on. I'm keeping it kosher. Keeping it kosher. All right. But hopefully, like I said on the flip side, everything gets fixed and Hollywood pays these writers what they need to while they're still cashing in. Speaking of cashing in, Powerball and Mega Millions are both over $500,000. Once again, nobody had the winning combination of numbers, and the jackpots will continue to go up. Let's get into this one. As far as the Powerball jackpot will hit $875 million for July 15th. Go get your tickets. Listen, it's a couple bucks. You spend that on a coffee. Why not take a chance to win almost $1 billion? The Powerball jackpot has reached an estimated $875 million, making it the third largest in the game's history. The jackpot went untouched again after no ticket matched all the winning numbers drawn on Wednesday. The cash value of the jackpot is $441 million. You got to pay those taxes. And the Mega Millions jackpot is also close behind, reaching an estimated $560 million, which is $281 million cash value after taxes. This is the seventh largest jackpot for the Mega Millions history. These record-breaking jackpots are due in part to a change in the lottery rules that made the odds of winning the jackpot slightly lower. However, the odds of winning any prize have increased, so players are more likely to win something even if they don't hit the jackpot. Now listen, nobody's saying it's going to be easy, right? We know how this works. Billions upon people are playing the lottery, right? You've got people who have been going from different states to play the lottery if they can't get in their area, all kinds of stuff. It gets crazy. But it's getting up there. I'd be interested to see if they both get to $1 billion at the same time. That'd be crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened in history. I have to check into it. But if they both get over $1 billion, it's definitely going to be wild. Continuing on, with these massive jackpots up for grabs, lottery fever is sweeping the nation. Millions of people are buying tickets in hope of becoming a multi-millionaire overnight. The next drawing for the Powerball jackpot is Saturday, July 15th. The next drawing for the Mega Millions jackpot is going to be tomorrow. So if you're watching this video, whenever it is, it's going to be tomorrow, Friday, July 14th. So if you're feeling lucky, be sure to buy a ticket for the next drawing. There it is. I'm buying my tickets. And like I told y'all before, if I win, I'm giving all my subscribers $100. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, turn your notifications. Your boy Jay gonna look out for you. We going straight for the top, and I'm throwing a party for all of y'all. It's gonna be crazy, cause you know we got to make that happen. So yeah, get your tickets in, and hopefully one of you guys win, or I'll win, and we all win. All right. Next up. 2023-2024 Miami Dolphins. Now, there's so much that we can say about Tua, the health scare, the injury issues, right? We can get into all that. We can talk about concussions. We don't need to talk about that. What we need to talk about is whether or not the Dolphins can continue to be a threat. Because I can tell you this. If Tua stays healthy, the Miami Dolphins are going to be a problem this year. Let's get into this one.
We saw what they were like last year without him, those 4 games that he missed because of concussions, and this was still a top 6 offense, a team that got 9 wins last season and made it all the way to the wild card round where they ended up losing. If he's healthy, imagine what all of these pieces look like. And if you can think about other things that they might add into the mix here, Dalvin Cook, then you take the 25th rushing offense.
Well, now, so she mentioned Dalvin Cook. So that's kind of interesting. This came out 8 hours ago. So adding Dalvin Cook to that offense, you definitely have some issues there. Definitely would. Shout out to Duke in the building. What's up, Duke? Says Tua MVP. You never know. Stephen David says, it's your chat and channel. Stick to whatever you want. Shout out to you, Stephen. Thanks for the love and support, my man. If they had Dalvin Cook, that could be very, very interesting as far as what they would do in the run game. That is for sure. Let's keep it going.
Last year, and you instantly get an upgrade there. All of these pieces that I'm talking about are on the offensive side of the ball. I haven't even mentioned Vic Fangio, the most influential defensive coordinator in this era of the NFL, bringing his talents to that side of the ball, a defense that now has Jalen Ramsey in the mix. They might be the most complete team in the AFC from top to bottom, assuming Tua can stay healthy, of course.
So there you go. Dalvin Cook to South Beach. It could happen. Once again, I feel like it goes back to the conversation we had even in regards to the Cowboys, right? As Dak Prescott was the X factor, so was Tua Tagovailoa. Here's the thing. Coming off concussion injuries, like I said, I'm not going to go down the path of talking about that too much. My big thing is whether or not he's actually going to go out there and have the confidence. Will he go out there and have the confidence to ball? Is he going to be scared to take a hit? Is he going to play nervous? Is he going to be hurried? Is he going to have that time in the pocket to make plays? Is he going to want to run and take those hits when he needs to? These are all questions that come into next season. So it's not just about throwing the ball, right? It's not just about whether or not he can stay healthy. There's a lot of psychological things that come into this for him being a quarterback and whether or not he's going to be able to perform and excel at that elite level. Knowing what he knows now, knowing what's at stake, and knowing how he's going to get pressured against elite defenses out there. And don't get me wrong, I don't think anybody in the NFL wants to actually hurt anybody. But realistically, some of these players want to hurt people. And if they can get a quarterback out the game, Tua is one of them. But hey, let's go ahead and get into the schedule. 2023 regular season, Miami Dolphins. What is it looking like? Well, week 1, Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert, great team. So many weapons over there. This is going to be a dogfight week 1. I was leaning towards the Chargers for multiple reasons, but the real issue here is whether or not Tua comes out and he's able to play calm, poised, focused, still utilize his tools, and they have an exceptional defense that knows how to stop Herbert and company. This is a toss-up for me right now. Week 2 against New England. I'm not feeling New England this year at all, so I'm going to say they'll beat New England. I'm not feeling Denver, even with Sean Payton being over there. Listen, yes, Denver's made some changes. Sean Payton, he's a hell of a coach. I just don't see them still being a factor or a real threat to teams like the Dolphins. So, yeah, I'm going to go Dolphins there. Week 4, this is going to be a big one. Divisional matchup against my Bills Mafia. You already know, regardless of how you feel about it, I'm going my Bills. It's going to be a great game, though. I'm not writing the Dolphins off if Tua is having a good start off to the season. Definitely going to be a dogfight. Against the Giants, week 5. This could easily be a Dolphins win. Panthers, yeah, definitely going to take the Dolphins there. Against the Eagles, this is going to be tough. Very, very tough. I may have to go with the Eagles on this one. I'll give them, of course, the Patriots again. Kansas City, hey, Super Bowl champions. I think they're going to take care of Chiefs are going to take care of business. They've got a bye week on week 10. After that, it's going to be the Raiders. Week 11, they'll probably beat the Raiders. Week 12, another dogfight against Aaron Rodgers and company. That's going to be a toss-up for me as well. Week 13, against the Commanders. I don't think Sam Howell and those boys are doing anything, to be honest. But, hey, we know the Dolphins are going to take that one. Tennessee Titans, that's going to be another one that they probably take. Jets, like I said, up in the air about this game. Cowboys as well. It's really tough. It's really tough. I do feel like a lot. Obviously, my predictions are going to have to change after week 1. You guys know that, because we're going to see exactly who's playing good, who's playing bad. We're going to have to come back, but we'll obviously address that. But right now, okay, it's looking like I would have to take the Dolphins against the Cowboys. I'd have to go with them against, or I had to go with them against the Ravens, and then obviously my Bills Mafia again. So preseason is going to be start 8-11 against the Falcons, 8-19 against the Texans, and then 8-26 against the Jaguars. So Bob says, Dan, you got the Eagles beating everyone. Listen, the Eagles are another team that's basically complete. Right? Obviously, you have the Dolphins, who their biggest problem right now is Tua. Kansas City, basically complete. Bills. I'm having an issue with defense right now. That's my biggest problem. But if we're healthy, we're back to being complete. Dare I say it, the Giants may be a factor. Minnesota may be a factor. There's so many teams that have great defense and they built their offense up, so it's going to be trouble this year. Not to mention, I think the Jets are probably one of the biggest underrated teams right now, because we don't know what to expect. We won't really know until week 1, until someone's like, wow, the Jets beat this specific team by 50, and we're sitting here like, well, we didn't expect that one, right? So there's a lot to really unpack as we break down these schedules. But I will say this. The Dolphins are definitely a threat if Tua stays healthy. And if he does, then we'll probably see the Dolphins in the playoffs. Without a doubt. Immortal says, Jay is riding the Eagles and Chargers way too much. I'm not riding anything, all right? I'm not riding anything. I'm calling it how I see it, all right? That's all I'm doing. I'm just calling it how I see it. Sheila says, I didn't get my notification either. A lot of strange things going on YouTube. Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but sometimes you have to subscribe and then click the bell. Or if you're already subscribed, make sure that you click the bell and then set notifications to all. And then the notifications should work. They've been doing this weird thing where I'll put up a video or I'll stream something and like the notification will come through on some people's phones like 3 hours after I uploaded a video. So I don't know. It's the way YouTube's working. They have control of that. All I can say is I'm here to bring you guys the content that you want. That's all. Al Bunny in the building. What's up, man? It says Tua might be home watching Netflix and retired after facing Eagles pass rush in Week 7. Listen, they're beating me up about this. They're saying that I'm riding the Eagles too much. But there you go. Bundy said it as well. People are forgetting the Eagles were just in the Super Bowl. Why wouldn't I talk about the Eagles? They were just there. We can't talk about Kansas City and the Chiefs without mentioning the Eagles, right? It's the same thing. Just like I know Kansas City is going to make it to the playoffs. Eagles are going to make it to the playoffs. We know that. The real X factors here is whether or not Tua is going to stay healthy. Because if he does, and he gets all those things that we talked about under control, as far as being focused, not being nervous, not being scared to take a hit, actually being able to perform under pressure, then yes, your Dolphins team is ready to go, and they're an actual threat. And to be honest, I can't wait till we play him in Week 4. Shout out to Bob. Says, just hoping you're wrong, Jay. Listen, I forgot what my I have to go back through it, but I had a really, really high. You guys remember? I had a really high prediction percentage last year. It was very high, especially during the postseason. I think I was. I don't know when we started taking count, obviously during wild card, but it was. I think I was maybe 9 for 12, something like that. I only got maybe 3 wrong out of that whole thing. So listen, once we get to the point where the season starts, these guys are playing, we're going through, each week. I'm able to break down stats. I'm able to read offenses and read defenses and give you guys all the true analytics from those specific in-game events, and we're watching it, we're streaming it. Then obviously I'll know a little bit better. But right now, we're all just speculating. I'm trying to get you guys hyped up for the season. All right? That's what I'm doing. As we're on day 13 of 31 before preseason. Football is literally in 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. 3 weeks. And we'll be ready for preseason. Shout out to you, Immortal. Says, just don't underestimate Justin Fields. I emailed you his apology form. If I'm wrong, I am the only human. I will apologize. Listen, y'all know if I'm wrong, I take accountability. Because that's what I preach. If you're wrong, take accountability. If I'm wrong, I take accountability. That's what I do. But yeah, we'll address all this. Obviously, you guys know that. It's all fun. You know how we do. What was next after this? Getting into the depth chart. That's right. You guys are making me veer off just a little bit. Getting into the depth chart. All right, so who's starting for these Dolphins? At quarterback, obviously Tua Tagovailoa. Behind him is going to be Mike White, then Skylar Thompson, James Blackman. Mike White obviously coming over from the Jets. So, if Tua does get injured, we don't want that, obviously, but if he does, Mike White should be able to go in there and hopefully hold down the fort. At running back, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr. on the second. Tyreek Hill for your wide receiver. Robbie Chosen on the second. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle. Braxton Berrios. Wide receiver Cedric Wilson. And then River Craycraft. As far as your tight end, Durham Smythe, Tyler Croft. Fullback Alec Ingold. Left tackle is going to be Terran Armstead. Left guard Liam Etchenberg. Center is going to be Connor Williams. Right guard Robert Hunt. Right tackle Austin Jackson. As far as your defense, Christian Wilkins, Raekwon Davis, Emmanuel Agba, Jalen Phillips, David Long Jr., Jerome Baker, Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard, Deshaun Elliott, Javon Holland, and then Jalen Ramsey. Pay attention to that name because, for me at least, I think he's getting towards the end of his career. Everyone's so hype about Jalen Ramsey coming to the Dolphins. I don't know. We'll have to see. Will he help out? Obviously, but I just don't know if it'll be too much of a factor. But we'll see. We'll see. Getting into special teams, Jason Sanders, Jake Bailey, Braxton Berrios for your punt return, punt kicker, or punt return, kick return. And then long snap, Blake Ferguson. And that is going to be your Dolphins depth chart, 2023-2024 preliminary. Shout out to my man Jonas. What's up, Jonas? What's going on with you, man? Says, I've been super busy. I have a 10-month-old in the children's hospital. We just got to go home today. Shout out to you, Jonas, and I'm definitely sorry to hear that. Prayers up for your 10-month-old child. It's never good to hear something like that, so definitely want to, give you our prayers, make sure that she's okay. So shout out to you. Sheila says, I've watched all last season games. A few I skipped only because I wanted to. Shout out to you, Sheila. Jonas says, Williams needed to get paid. He did get paid. We definitely we talked about that earlier. Quinnen Williams got that $96 million for the Jets. So definitely a good deal for him. So as far as Tua and company, that's it. If Tua stays healthy, I think your Dolphins are going to go to the playoffs. Now, what happens then? That's what's going to be in question. I mean, I'm going to say it. I know my Bills going to the Super Bowl, so hey, you're going to have to play these Bills, and you know what's going to happen after that. Y'all might make it to the playoffs, and then the Bills come handle y'all. But listen, if Tua stays healthy, he stays focused, and he goes out there and balls, you guys will make it to the playoffs. Shout out to Detendo says, what do you think about LeBron's son? That was obviously the biggest conversation in regards to why LeBron wants to keep playing, whether or not he'd play with Bronny. I've watched some tape on Bronny. He looks okay. He looks decent. NBA ready? I don't think so. People forget that when that transition from college to NBA, it's different, especially if you don't have that talent. When you have to develop into that role of going into the NBA and you don't already have that, it's a lot different from having it in college or having it fresh out of high school, which nobody's had that in a long time. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't think Bronny's ready yet. He still needs to develop. So will LeBron play with him? I don't think so. Shout out to Immortal, says smash tables in Hard Rock Stadium. Shout out to you, bro. Sheila says Ramsey is going downhill and a troublemaker. Not as good as he thinks he is. I know I had to endure him with the Jags. Shout out to you, Sheila. Yeah, Jalen always gets into something with the fan. Some fan's going to say something to piss him off, and, they're going to go back and forth. He's going to cause issues, and, he'll get a couple picks, right? That's his thing. He'll get a couple picks, make a couple big defensive plays, and that's normally how he keeps his contract in place. That's how that goes. Will he be a factor for the Dolphins this year? I don't think so. We'll see, though. We'll see. So Jonas says Mike White will lead the Dolphins to playoffs soon as Tua goes down. Hey, guys, I didn't say it. Jonas said it. I was trying to give Tua the benefit of the doubt. Jonas came in here with the Tua hate, said he's going down. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Duke says Fins will have the best secondary to NFL. You tripping? Okay. All right. I'll just say this. There wasn't really too many people talking about how dominant the Dolphins' defense was last year. But like I said, I could be wrong, and we'll see. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for tonight. Day 13 of 31 days of football. We're almost halfway through. Y'all thought I wasn't going to do it. Y'all thought I was playing around. Y'all know I'm dedicated. Definitely dedicated. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it no matter how long it takes. Tomorrow, let's see here. What do we got for tomorrow? What do we got? What do you got, Jay? What do you got for him tomorrow? Obviously, you guys know I try to keep you updated with all the stories, all the crazy stuff that's going around the world. But you guys are here for the sports and the football, so I got to make sure that you guys know who we're talking about tomorrow. And on the 14th, it's going to be the Eagles. It's going to be a great one, Jalen Hurts and company. And we'll chop it up. So, yeah. Shout out to you, Duke, since we don't want Tua running the ball. But what happens when he has to? That's what's going to be the question. That's what's going to be the question. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay signing out. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure you smash that like, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notifications. You guys have a good night. Yeah, prayers up to Jonas. Jonas, hit me up too, bro. Send me a text or something. We'll chop it up. Have a good night, everybody.